Welcome to the Sci-Fi Center, the place to be, where comic books and wrestling collide magically. Movies, TV shows, and pop culture we share. Get ready to rock, we're here to take you there. From superheroes to aliens in outer space, we've got the latest news and reviews in our embrace. Turn on your screen, let the neon lights glow. We'll take you back to the 80s. Let's rock and roll. Sci-Fi Center, where the legends come alive. Get ready to geek out, let your imagination fly. We're diving into the past with a touch of modern flair. Sci-Fi Center, the ultimate pop culture lair.
Happy Halloween! Welcome to one of two Halloween watch-alongs that we'll be doing tonight. This one, Nosferatu, Symphony of Terror, 1922, F.W. Murnau. This movie is, to me, the classic, along with Cabinet of Dr. Caligari, an example of classic German expressionism and during the late 1900s, 19 teens, and then going on to the 20s, just before the end of the silent era. For those of you who are not familiar with it, German expressionism was a visual art style for silent movies, and in some sound movies with sound, but for the majority silent movies that relied heavily on, what's the word I'm looking for? A lot of abstract artwork, a lot of the sets, a lot of the way the things were filmed were just revolutionary for the 20s. This one's another one, Metropolis, Fritz Lang's Metropolis. In fact, most of Fritz Lang's are long, depending on where you're from. Movies were German expressionism. A lot of these guys did end up making some films, with sound, but it was towards the end of their career. A lot of these movies were being made in Germany from 1920s all the way up until the breakout of World War II. There are people, like I said, what ended a lot of this is a lot of the intellectuals fled Germany during the Nazi regime. So some of this stuff ended up lost, recovered. In the case of Metropolis, some of the Nazis actually stole some of the negatives and stuff, or some of the reels, and fled to Buenos Aires, Argentina. And 80 years later, those things were found, and I was able to show a copy of that here. So Nosferatu is considered, in fact, unless somebody can tell me something different, the very first vampire movie ever made. They faced lawsuits from Bram Stoker's widow over this, which is why it drifted into public domain, because it wasn't really widely released until long after it was made, as far as wide release goes. So it is Dracula. And, that's why, these days she wouldn't have won that lawsuit. But back then, the law was very cut and dry. All right, let me go ahead and okay. So how we're gonna do this tonight? I have pinned the link in the chat for the YouTube channel that has this, and we can play it from there. I'm also having internet connection forbidding. I'm going to put it up on the screen for us here. However, if my internet starts to suck and we start to lag and I disappear, you just go by default. You can go to where it's going to be playing on YouTube, and then we can all just catch up that way. All right, let me bring in Clint. How you doing, Clint? Aaron, and fourth 1000. So I think that's probably it. Halloween night. Probably a lot of you guys are out with the kids doing whatever. So I'm going to.
Brad's going to be a pinata tonight. As they kids kick him
Right.
in the head, he'll be dropping candy.
I don't know if he's doing anything at the thing, but he's probably out. I think he's got nephews and stuff, so I think he might be out. A lot of people are out. So like I said, we're gonna do this one, and then we are going to do hey, well, Nerd, let me see. I have a link I sent you. You should have a link on Nerd Coast Notes. This is a vampire movie. This is right down your alley. So all right. So I'm gonna do this. We go to the end because I did a test run of it earlier just to make sure that.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Like I said, my internet as such is I don't know how I'm gonna look, if I'm gonna get all choppy and shit. So if that happens, then like I said, the link is in the chat. We can go directly to there. So, all right, is everybody ready? We don't really need to do a countdown. All right, here we go.
4K to this.
I don't know. I just grabbed the one that's been around the longest and has had the least amount of problems. I'm not a big. Before we start, explain to me the big difference between 4K and everything else. I just don't see it. I guess I'm a caveman because I have a 4K. I mean, I have the same type of TV I think you do, and is there a significant difference for people? Because I don't.
Depends on what you're viewing in 4K. I mean, the difference between 4K and like 1080p is significant depending on the source you're watching it from, but you won't really get that. Well, depending on what source you're streaming it from. Like Amazon probably reserves all the great bit rates for the Lord of the Rings show. It looks amazing on my TV. But for most streaming things, it doesn't really feel that more significant than 1080p.
But, okay, because like I said, I
numbers wise, 35 millimeter film, it blows up to 4K. 4K is the true accurate size of 35 millimeter film. So
okay,
when you watch old movies, there you go.
All right, so I don't know what this one is. I'm pretty sure there's a 4K version out there, but like I said, I picked. I use this. Yeah, okay. I use this version a lot. When we did our Nosferatu, we did a heavy metal soundtrack to Nosferatu. This is the version I actually used when we did something called Iron Vampire, and we had a heavy metal. Yeah, we actually had a heavy metal guitarist and everything else put a soundtrack to this. So that was a while back. So all right, here we go, guys. I am hitting play right now.
Tra.
Really don't. Sound score is cool, but it's not really necessary. I mean, it is depending on like when I do it here. I've actually for the 100th anniversary, we actually had a piano guy come in and give us a full on soundtrack for this.
Side the coffee shop.
So you can do anything or any score that you want.
Yeah.
With this if you want to.
Oh, that's right, Clint. Yeah, cool. Yeah. We did it at the coffee shop, Fort Bedlam. Man, I love that place. Oh, yeah, brings back good memories and hurts at the same time. There's a coffee shop we had downstairs, and it had an event area. We did Rocky Horror there. We did Nosferatu there. We did Metropolis there. I mean, we did a whole bunch of things there. I mean, they were only around for 9 months because of the way that they had to get set them back so far, getting grease traps and everything else. By the time it came around to for them to like reap all the benefits, the building was being sold. The owner of our building had passed away. It just was a disaster, and they decided to close down and leave. But while they were there, we did a lot of cool things there. This was one of them.
I miss Fort Bedlam sadly.
I do. I think if they would have came along right now, when Sister Kim's and everything was getting set up, I think they would have been able to hang around. But it was just a perfect storm of bullshit. And like I said, it sucked. And they made great coffee.
So that they were like a coffee or a cafe or something?
Like, yeah, they were a coffee shop with like an entertainment area. They were right downstairs. Oh, okay. Yeah. And like I said, I was their first customer, as I was with Sister Kim's. As soon as I saw them setting up, I'm like, hey, I couldn't wait. And then, as soon as they were open up.
Did they rack up the rent for them?
Yeah, and then a lot of expenses because it was very expensive to get the things added to make the place that they were in suitable for the health department. And then, like
Oh,
I said, it was a perfect storm of the people that they were working with as far as the ownership of the property. Once he passed away, it was the whole new ball game, and it just didn't like. All right,
Does
so this
this
open.
movie
Good.
does this movie have a Spanish version counterpart like a lot of the other classic monster movies?
As far as like it in different
Because
languages or a movie to get all together, a Spanish
be-
version of the movie.
so before dubbing, they actually had a Spanish crew come in and shoot the exact same thing, but in their language for other countries. So there's
Okay,
duplicates of all the classic monster films like Dracula and stuff.
I don't think for this. No, I don't believe so. If somebody is in who is in the comments can correct me on that. I don't believe so. I know once the Universal era started, yes, once the Universal era because we've done that here. We've done the Dracula and it's not a different. It's actually being filmed with that in mind. So yeah, but I don't believe for this film though. For
Okay.
All they would have to change is the English dialogue on the cutscenes.
yeah, but they would. That's all they would have to do for this. But I think for when the Universal films, I actually think they filmed. They actually had a film crew come in. So you'd have an American, you'd have an English one, and you have American, and they would all be filming the same thing, but they would all take it back to different areas and reformat the movie. There's a documentary on that too. I should bring up one of these days how
Yeah.
they used to
I,
do that.
I hear this. I hear the Spanish version of whatever Dracula they shot is supposed to be really, really good in a lot of places.
It is. It's actually when you look at it and being a film guy with all the photo stuff and all that, it's actually it looks a lot like they shot it it looks more newer even though it was shot at the same time 1931. It looks crisper. It
Yeah.
looks like at different angles and everything because they just filmed a different movie. Because I always wonder why don't you just change the language on it? It's like nah, they had a different way. Um, Mexico, Spain, Italy. If you watch their horror movies versus ours, I love ours, obviously, but we have a very basic way of shooting movies and POVs and angles and all that. If you watch some of the Italian stuff, especially the Italian stuff, the cinematography is coming at ways that your mind can't really grasp, and that adds to the horror sometimes. Sometimes you'll be watching an Italian movie, right? Italian horror movie, and there's nothing going on, but you're coming at that nothing at an angle that's like you just don't feel right. So they're masters of doing that, and us, it's just like straightforward until you start getting
Especially
guys
with
like good.
especially with Italian westerns. Up until Sergio Leone, you were not allowed to
Yeah,
have someone being shot with a gun and being hit by a bullet in the same frame for the longest
yeah,
time.
yeah.
And they
His
broke
spaghetti
all the rules
westerns
on that.
really, yeah, he's really. I think people see the Italians when it comes to Italians influences on American movies. They basically reshaped how westerns were because prior to that, if it was just John Wayne or Lee Van Cleef or something like that, it was basic, basic stuff. Like I dare say, cowboys and Indian stuff. Once this
Yeah.
spaghetti western stuff started to take hold, it was a different ball game, and a lot of people didn't realize where those movies were coming from because a lot of Americans, like even Clint Eastwood, is in spaghetti westerns. He's in Italian stuff movies. So a lot of people I think because of that because our big names went to go make those movies that people just automatically assume that that's an American thing. It's not. It's not. Like the Italians helped. We did our part as Americans, but Italians helped the genres, both of those genres.
And you had a lot of Italian coming over to America, and a lot
Yep.
of them were also filmmakers as well. So pretty much you can kind of claim them due to the fact that they would have eventually became American citizens.
Yeah, same thing with the Germans. Like I said, Germans. I believe I know Fritz Lang escaped. He got out. He made films in America. I don't know if Marnaud did. I don't know if let me look up it because I know I don't think he stayed. Nobody really stayed because obvious reasons. You just weren't going to hang around while that was going on.
Yeah, the Weimar Republic collapsed, and that's
Yeah,
where a lot of them had to flee, especially the Jewish German filmmakers. because there was no hope for them in Nazi Germany.
So
Okay,
William,
wow.
how does
He
a
died. He died young. He was only 42 when he passed away. He died in 1931. He died 9 years. He literally died 9 years after this movie was made.
yeah.
That's crazy.
And like the only real German filmmaker that was allowed to continue her work was that bitch Leni Riefenstahl.
Yeah, but even he had to run.
No,
If we're talking about
no,
the same person.
Leni Riefenstahl. She didn't run.
Oh, wait a
She
minute.
stayed in Leni Riefenstahl.
Spell that. Lenny.
Yeah, The Good, the Bad, the Ugly is one of the best westerns I've ever seen.
Hey, Aaron, send me that name so I can spell it right and message me.
Okay,
Now,
I'll do it in the
okay, yeah, private chat. That's fine.
I will challenge you on that, Clint. Once Upon a Time in the West is amazing.
Now, well, one of the cool things about this, and even going back to Lon Chaney Sr., their facial expressions, because their tones of their voice weren't going to be able to dictate anything. Their facial expressions do what their voices could not. So they kind of overdo it with the sadness or saying goodbye to this because they, that was one of the things that was missing.
Well, since they have no voices in this, they have to overact to get their emotions across, I guess.
Correct. And these wide shots like this, okay, so a lot of this, the way this is shot, and especially with F. Murnau and Fritz Lang, a lot of single shot angles like this, no close-ups or anything like that for a while, and then you just come back. It's a lot of it's everything that's happening in the scene is happening on a big scene like this. So like 20 years later, right now, we would have been on a close-up of those guys. Just that guy saying bye, just the person saying bye to the person on the horse, that would have been a close-up scene. Here, it's one shot coming towards you, left, right, doesn't matter. That's something I noticed with these films like this.
Here's the anti-Gen Wires script.
Yeah.
And this version's color grading is kind of cool. I don't know. The original one was just stark black and white or blue. But a lot of that got changed because where these films were stored and how they were restored, the original color grading is not there. They just went with overlays like this. So each scene, it's either like that reddish hue that you see or the blue, because the black and white versions don't really look that cool unless they've been restored, because where they were sitting for a long time. These movies sat in warehouses. Yeah, they sat in warehouses for a long time, and the only way they could fully be restored. And now, because if you look at the original versions and the archives, it looks really rough, but they've restored it. Because like I said, I got a copy. Good.
The blue might actually be them trying to say that it's nighttime. I know they use that.
I thought that too, but if you look, there's other. Well, it's off. Either that or they're, because I know on the original, not tape, but on the original movie, when he's riding around in the dark, it's bright light. So yeah, you could be right. It's bright, So when he first picks up,
the film sensitivity may not be what it was today to simulate nighttime.
That's true, because when he picks him up, when Dracula picks what's his face up to drive, to bring him into the castle, it's bright white, but it's supposed to be a nighttime scene.
Yeah.
So they're pretty much George Lucas this film.
Okay, so I'm looking. I'm looking up the lady you sent me. Wow, she lived to be 101. Okay, I was
Yeah.
thinking somebody else.
No. This is the bad one. She's total upright bitch, Nazi, everything. She was best friends with
Oh, she's standing next to Heimlich Klimmer. Let me go ahead and X off of that. No
Yeah,
wonder she.
yeah.
Okay, no wonder she survived so long there. I'm surprised she survived
Mhm.
long afterwards. But then
Oh
again,
yeah.
she had no part in the actual.
She was a normal everyday filmmaker
Yeah, she
during
just.
like the Weimar Republic, right? And as soon as the Nazis came into power, that's when she became full on like Nazified and did propaganda for the Nazi Party, like creating Olympia and all that. It's just
Hey, chat. How am I looking? Am I grainy? Am I choppy? Let me know if I am. If so, I'll have to switch over. But I'm hoping I don't get to that point. Yeah, because just because you were a Nazi in World War II didn't mean you didn't get off. NASA was founded by Werner von Braun, and he was a Nazi. He
yeah.
was designing rockets that were supposed to hit the continental U.S. And then all of a sudden, when the Russians and Americans were looking for the best mines that the German had to offer, they offered those guys deals. So and you know what? Hey, we wouldn't have NASA because he was a big proponent of the rocket program, and you know what? They did a lot, and Russians did the same thing. There's a lot of Nazis that got deals if they could provide knowledge and technical expertise. And I'm like,
Yeah, Operation Paperclip.
Yep, that's
I
Anthony.
forgot what the Russian version was called, but I know the American version was called Operation Paperclip.
Right,
Anthony.
What's up?
The movies weren't truly silent, Anthony. They had piano players, giving context and stuff for it.
Yeah, like right now, Anthony, what you're watching. If you have it on, I can turn it up. Do I have it muted for you guys? I'm sorry. I just realized. All right, so you hear that, Anthony? I'm going to lower it down.
There was music this whole time.
You got to start over now, dude.
It's
No,
not happening.
it's fine.
Merry Halloween, everybody.
I don't know if the movie is public domain. This is not the original score, so I don't know if the score might get me. If it does, it does. But no, Anthony. So to answer your question, you see here, over the 100 years, the original score was never recorded. When they played these, they would have a pianist there in the theater when they played these.
Would you say you're going to get us banned, dude? They had a what there?
They had a pianist. Anyway, they would have a pianist there. Same thing with Phantom of the Opera. Phantom of the Opera was the same thing. When these were shown, these were big gala events. Not this one, because this one didn't get. This one, she sued. Bram Stoker's wife sued before this could ever get a wide release. Nosferatu really never got a wide release. But movies like The Hunchback of Notre Dame, the Phantom of the Opera, Metropolis, generally there was somebody in the actual theater. That's why when we do these movies here, and Clint's been there for some of mine, I actually bring in a pianist to play along. So you're not sitting in silence. I only did that because I was going to be talking over it, and I didn't know if I could compete with the score. But so yeah, there's hopefully I answered that one for you.
BYLP.
So it's like you bring in like a normal piano, or do you like have a there's an electric keyboard and
I've done
they
both.
do it on there.
I've done
Keyboard
both.
with like 250 buttons.
Yeah.
You play it, William?
No, I had somebody else.
Because this particular score sounds more like organ music.
This is organ, yeah. Yeah, this is organ. Sometimes they would have in the bigger ones for the Universal movies where they had a big theater, like the old Fox theaters, the Art Deco theaters, there was a piano that was always there. And that was literally the person's job. Same thing as a baseball game. Back in the old days, before we had speakers and things like that, there was an organ player. That's why whenever you listen to an American baseball game, you'll hear the organs playing. Now it's all synthesized, but back then there was an actual on the say for Yankee Stadium. There's actually a platform area in there for the person to play the organs, and he was over the same PA system as the guy announcing the games, like announcing now taking, now at that PBBs or something like that. They had the organ player there, so there was actually some baseball stadiums still have an organist there.
And Anthony, you're somewhat wrong. There were a lot of Jewish scientists that defected to the United States, and they helped create the nuclear bomb.
Yeah. Oppenheimer himself was an American, Jewish American, but a lot of the people that came over, because from 1933 on, that's when the people that were living there understood that they had to get the hell out. Not only were they not only were they Jewish, but they were intellectuals, which the Nazis had no room for. So they started getting out there, and then that's how a lot of the people that were in there were actually from. They were actually originally working on plans for Germany until Germany turned and they got out of there. There's like a long list of nuclear physicists that came from Germany and German Jews at the time. If you look at the names that contributed to the Manhattan Project alone, you'll see them. Was that?
So if you had to pick one project to work on, what would it be?
Project?
Yeah.
Well, you talking about in terms of Manhattan Project or something like that, or?
Yeah, one of their scientific projects, or searching for the spear of destiny, or.
No, the nuclear one. I mean, the nuclear project. I mean, changed the world. I mean, if you have Heisenberg was working on it for the Nazis, but the problem with what happened with the Nazis is they lost a lot of their brain trust. A lot of their brain trust was people that they were trying to kill. So everybody else, is like, even once you had a regime like that had that kind of control and didn't listen to any outside anything, that's what stopped them. They slowed their own nuclear progress down. They came close, but once again, you got guys like Einstein. I mean, just everybody of that class was leaving Germany because they saw what was happening. Some of your best minds.
Like Albert Einstein.
You had some Nazis. You had some people that were defecting at both ways. You had people that were defecting to the Russians too, that were trying to infiltrate the project. So, yeah, we could go into that's actually a different topic altogether, because the Manhattan Project's a really complex set of things. Manhattan Project and then NASA, because NASA and the Manhattan Project are basically hand in hand, and here's why. The whole reason why NASA was funded for like the last 60 years was because of the nuclear program. The space program, yeah, let's go walk on the moon, let's put a satellite in space, but the rockets that were being used for NASA were originally being designed by Braun for use against us, V6, all that. And then we took it further to justify the funding without outright saying, let's make some war weapons. Hey, send the man on the moon. So, yeah, it's interesting. But we could do a whole whatever on that one.
Pretty smart.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's a lot of that's another stream we could do if we ever wanted to get in that technology that came. We know the Nazis as being a horrific, pieces of what, but if you objectively look at some of the technology and stuff that comes from them, it's some of the stuff we're still using today. There are people driving cars based on technology that they were building. The VW Beetle was one of his plans to provide every German with an affordable car. That's where the Beetle came from.
That's why that commercial doesn't go back to the 30s.
Exactly. It stops because who that was his mandate was to create a affordable vehicle and roadways and the Autobahn. Like we want you driving around this big country. The Autobahn, all that stuff was part of a design. So yeah, if you look at the history of certain German vehicles, who was making engines for some of the German planes? I think Volvo made a lot of that stuff. I mean, so it's a lot of the technology that we use today came from a horrible regime. Some of it was followed. When we were advancing on Berlin and the Russians it was scooping up every scientist that we could. And you'd be surprised at some of the stuff that we still use to this day that came from probably some horrible means, because the Germans were doing experimentation on people. And even though there's moral, reasons not to use it, I guarantee you, we use those. We use those results today.
See, the Manhattan Project made America into a superpower.
Yep.
The creation of NASA cemented it.
Well,
Okay,
the Manhattan Project had very few Nazis, but the NASA Moon Project had a lot of Nazis.
Well, then the Manhattan Project had some unwanted Nazis. They ended up getting the kibosh put on them. Okay, where are we at this movie?
And don't forget that NASA had a lot of help from African American women to help.
Yeah, there was a movie that was just recently done. I can't. I'm losing it right now, but it was a really good movie.
I think it won a few Oscars, didn't it?
Something numbers.
Yeah, and Taraji P. Henson's in it. She's like, damn.
Oh,
Yeah.
I saw that one.
Hidden Figures.
Hidden Figures. There you go. Thank you. All right, so a lot of what's being done here, the angle is the shadows. This movie uses shadows for what they had brilliantly. Obviously, one of the most famous shadows is him coming up the stairs, but he used that.
Did you work on this movie, L. William?
Oh my God! No, you didn't.
Well, he has all the insight, the background information, like.
Oh, I've watched this movie 100 times and studied.
No.
Yeah.
Watching it, being there, I'm sure you were there for all of it.
Yeah, sure, buddy.
Saw it in the theater when it came out.
He was the cinematographer.
There you go. He was the second unit director.
It was the first popcorn bucket that they released.
Go ahead and show us that. I know you got it, William. Got it there in the collection. Let's get that Nosferatu original popcorn bucket. I know it's going to sell like gangbusters when the new one comes out.
I wonder what that Christmas movie Nosferatu is going to be like.
Robert Eggers, we're promoting it. I can't wait to see that.
William Dafoe is in it, and
Johnny Depp's daughter.
Johnny Depp's daughter, and Craven's in it.
That guy looks like Javier Bardem.
How long has this movie been going so far away?
26 minutes. About 27 minutes.
So when I got in here, I don't know if you were making the illusion that This is a rip-off of Bram Stoker's work, or what was going
Well,
on?
it is.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it never got widely released, because Bram
Okay.
Stoker's widow sued and had it shelved.
Okay.
And she ordered all copies of it
Oh, that's
burned,
all.
but obviously it didn't happen.
Was it going to be called Dracula or something before it was called Nosferatu, or is there some meaning to the name? Or
I'm pretty sure Nosferatu was because Nosferatu was used in the novel too, so
gotcha.
that was another problem. She pretty much had him
Which
dead
do you
to
like
rights.
better, this or Vampires? What
No, this.
do you like better, this or John Carpenter's Vampire?
I don't like John Carpenter's vampires, so this it was this.
Clint, have you seen this movie before?
Yes.
Would you say it's does it closely reflect the novel? You said you read the novel a few weeks back too, right? Or was that Frankenstein?
Yeah, I've actually read Frankenstein also, but no, it's nowhere near.
Gotcha.
Because Dracula just he was just a normal guy, goes out day and night, and just he's just basically being an anti-Christ figure.
Gotcha. So is
Because he takes blood to save himself, and Christ gave blood to save everyone.
the inverse? Gotcha. Would
Perfect movie to release on Christmas.
I don't get that.
What-
one,
would either of you two then say, or anybody who's seen this, would you guys say this has a lot of imprint on the tropes that we see in in vampire movies now, or
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, the whole sunlight thing.
the whole
That
what
was
now?
an original idea. That was an original idea.
but
That
it's
was
weird
in Bram
because in
Stoker.
Dracula, he's walking around in the daylight. He's just not. It affects how powerful he is. He's basically a mortal, a mere mortal when he's walking around. But if you watch the movie Bram Stoker's Dracula, Gary Oldman's character is walking around in the daytime.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the power. Like, he can't do all that supernatural shit in the daylight, but it won't burn him up.
Did you already do that
But-
as a watch along?
But in this film,
It's-
Nosferatu died.
Yeah, in this film, he dies by sunlight. Spoiler alert! It's been 100 years. 100 years.
Hashtag William spoiler.
Brad. Can't blame Brad.
We can still blame Brad.
Yeah.
Now, what you're seeing right now is probably, whether you knew this movie or not, probably some of the most famous scenes. It's been used everywhere.
The Shadow.
No, just this right
Hold
here.
on.
That too.
What's going on? Chuck, Vince, Nerd, Rhea, Anthony.
Hey, what's going on, Rhea?
Hi, Rhea. There are people who've seen this and know this that don't even know what Nosferatu is. They just know this because it was made so iconic.
You talking about this guy walking through the door is iconic?
Yep, just how he walks through there.
So you think it's more iconic than Norm walking into Cheers? Just ask. So I gather that the differences in colors and all this is because it's aged, and this is whatever they recovered to digitize it, or
Well, this has been restored.
that's what I mean.
Yeah, well, but somehow this was like one of the early restorations. Yeah.
We thought
see
the
how
color
it's
meant
weird.
something, but it really doesn't mean anything. It's just
Mhm.
some of it's original film footage and some of it's restored, like William said.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Thanks for
Because
clearing
like I
that
said, I have a copy of the one I showed from about 10, 12 years ago. For the one when they recovered and added to the movie. It's actually a longer version of the movie because it has all the missing some of the missing stuff to it. Same thing with Metropolis.
Those are the
Like
versions
right
you
here.
guest starred in? Release the William cut.
So see the shadows
Right,
like I
like-
spoke before? There you go.
Perhaps one day we should do
There you
do
go.
one for Metropolis as well.
Yeah, we're gonna do
That's
Giorgio
available.
Moroder's version now.
Oh,
The version Giorgio
I didn't know there
Moroder.
was another version
Oh
of that.
yeah, in
How
1984.
many versions are there? I know there's an anime one too they made.
There's the Buenos Aires version that I have. There's the original version, and then there's the Giorgio Moroder version, and that has
Oh, so there's about 3 or 4 versions. Wow.
This is another one right here. This turn.
Where would we see that turn at?
Right now.
No, you said that we would know it even if we didn't know it. Where else would we?
No, I'm
what
talking
else
about when he
paid
first came
homage
through
to
the door. When he first
Got it.
came, all these things right now have been used in commercials. They've been used in all kinds of other TV shows. They've been put on so many different things that you would have never had to see Nosferatu to know what they were.
And Anthony, there was no such a thing. The book was written in the 1800s. There was no such thing as a daywalker or anything like that.
Yeah, we
It was
did
just-
that. Hollywood did that.
Yeah.
Blade was around back then, or not
Yeah.
not Blade, but like Blade's ancestors.
You know, Dracula was just Dracula.
You like the name Dracula or the name Dracula?
Well, the name Dracula means Dracula's Order of the Dragon. La is son of, so Dracula is son of. He is the Lord of the Order of the Dragon. That's what that means. That goes back to the Turkish ancestries of La Tepic.
Or even Dr. Acula.
There is another good one. Yeah.
So he wasn't a count. He was a prince. He was Prince
Yeah, he was a prince of Wallachia, if I'm pronouncing that right.
Wallachia.
In the
Yeah,
Ottoman
Wallachia.
Empire. Yeah, Ottoman Empire, and then the territory kept getting captured and recaptured, taken over. He was in prison. He wasn't in prison. He killed. It was a very vicious war that was happening. Where like I said, they were fighting over such small territory.
When did he start taking Transylvania over?
1431, I think. But it was called something else. It wasn't called that.
Yeah.
Is any relation to Scott Bakula?
Oh wow, you guys tonight.
You're reaching
Yeah,
there,
he was-
Spidey.
So he was his full name was Prince Vlad Tepes.
Yeah, Vlad the Impaler. He would legit
Vlad
impale his
the
enemies.
was his nickname. You know why he's to impale people? You know the backstory? Well,
I
okay.
heard, I can't remember it.
You've heard it? Heard about
Yeah.
it? Okay. So I
This
don't
was
know.
a
I don't
cool
have.
thing, too.
So yeah, he had a really rough childhood. No wonder he was that messed up.
Those are fake hands he's holding on to, right?
Yeah.
What, like hands with sticks on them, or like hands with sticks on the hands or something?
And what was it? Yeah, he was
Admit-
he was a prince regent, and he was the prince of that section of Romania of Wallachia. It's like in France you got the king and queen of France and that, and then you got Monaco, which you have a prince regent.
This is cool. Getting ready for his trip to America, or to London, I'm sorry.
Is he gonna hang out with their werewolf?
American vampire in London.
What was it? I don't know. So this guy is pretty much the Keanu Reeves character.
Yeah. Yeah, Thomas Hutler.
Yeah, no wonder Bram Stoker's wife sued. Yeah. It's been a while since I've seen this movie.
This guy's a better actor than Keanu Reeves.
Oh, shit, man. Don't say that.
Bloody wolves chasing me through some green inferno. Oh. Cut.
You know,
cut.
you know, in the that Simpsons gif meme,
Yeah.
at least he tried. At least he tried. He could get a good crack at it.
If only the casting department tried. We could have had Johnny Depp in that role, but I understand the star power Keanu had.
Well, we'll be watching Johnny Depp soon. Coffee news.
This is the Plague Rats.
A what?
The Plague Rats. This is the just like in Dracula, but in the Demeter, the time they get to where
The
they're
Plague
going.
of Rats?
Yeah.
You got trick or treaters at the store, William?
Earlier this evening, yeah, before it got dark.
Did you give them candy corn?
Nah, I had Milky Way shit here. It's gone now. I made sure I ran out.
You can't really be bothered by the kids when you're watching your movies.
Yeah, really. Not a lot of trick or treaters, like I said. A lot of these events, they just went to the safer events. There's your Plague Rats. And that'll kill
when I
all
was
of
a
them.
kid, we used to wait till it was dark to go trick or treating. Now they get done before it gets dark. I guess things change.
Trick or treating in the modern age.
Yeah, like I said, a lot of them just go to communal gatherings where it's safe.
Trunk or treat style.
Yeah.
So at those things, people pop their car trunks open and hand out candy from their trunk.
Yep. They close off a street or a parking lot, and that's what they do.
No.
This is him.
No, this
basically.
guy's is a Venus flytrap.
Yeah.
Trapping a
He's
fly.
using that to illustrate, the vampire.
There's a lot of metaphors in this movie.
It was Snyder before it was Snyder.
Yeah. And did you know what Anne Rice used to say about the whole metaphor of vampires biting people, right? And biting each other and stuff. It's a metaphor for intimacy.
Yeah.
For her vampires.
Oh yeah, well. That's,
Yeah, like
that's
30 days of night. 30 days of night. There's no intimacy there. Renfield.
Fair enough. Unless they want it rough.
He's eating flies, by the way.
Oh, what?
He's eating flies.
Because he's a ghoul.
He's trying to imitate his master.
Oh, was that Renfield?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't know that Renfield was like in almost every Dracula,
Yep.
or was a popular character.
He was in the book.
Stuff.
Yeah, he's from the original text. So.
What's his name? Tom
he-
Waits or whatever that is. He was Renfield in the
And
Bram
this one.
Stoker's one, Asylum.
In the book, he would, eat bugs and then graduate to, mice and then graduate to cats and then dogs to imitate his master.
So he's
Oh,
he's
was
eating the
just like
dogs
that.
and eating the cats.
Yeah.
Ah,
What was he like? Dracula? Like he was like
stop
Dracula.
it. Stop it, Aaron. No more of that. It's banned.
Dang, Aaron.
Aaron for the most horrific joke of the night. Good job.
So I mean, Renfield was like the original
It-
just helper of Dracula, like moving his coffin
It was
around and stuff
handed
like
to
that.
me on a it was handed.
Yeah, he was like a disciple-ish type of situation. Let me look up here real quick.
So the first vampire familiar, if you will.
Oh.
Oh, good. I get to
Actually,
take
he's
part
not. He's
credit
called
for that
Knock
joke,
in this
Aaron.
movie. Yeah, just outright Knock. That's what they call him here.
What do they outright call him?
Knock. In this movie, he's Knock. He's not Renfield. Renfield is the original. When they did this, they knew they were adopting something that they didn't own, so they thought changing names like Count Dracula, Count Orlok. They thought that would save them, but the story was so exactly that it didn't.
So he's not Nosferatu.
Ah! Oh my goodness.
It's hanging out at the old beachside cemetery.
That's where they all should be at. Dang, that eyeshadow.
It's Pedro Pascal right there.
Oh.
Ray must have just got finished watching Sunny or something, because that's what DeVito's hair looks like in there.
This is original footage. See how it's rounded?
Yep. This shot here, I mean, just having the.
What was the
And
budget?
I know a
of
lot
this?
of it is sped up and sped down, but some of these shots are really, like I said, I can't believe they had the forward thinking, the artistic imagery, without a lot of the stuff that we have today. Because some of these shots are really nice.
What's up, Taladia?
What's going on, Silky Smooth?
That's a little rough.
This next scene is far ahead of its time. This next series of scenes at the arrival of the boat, the way it's arriving, everybody on the boat's dead. So you have a ghost ship that's rolling in here. But how this is done is really cool. It's at least 30 years ahead of its time.
Check it out.
Taladia says he's in the back.
He can stay there. No, I'm just kidding. I sent
Asshole.
What's up, man? I sent him the
What's
link.
up?
Of course, I want him here.
Yeah, I was without internet for an hour. Like I was trying to get it fixed.
Cox is spread over to you, huh? Because I know that.
Oh.
Cox is like a disease. It spreads.
There it goes.
It's misandrous.
Oh! What I found out from you guys, it was a guy's actual name. I thought it was like a acronym or something,
Nah, not the name.
and I kind of felt sorry for the guy.
It'll be all right. So what you're seeing here is these are guys that are starting to get sick from the rats.
The bubonic plague.
Vampiric plague.
Oh, is the vampire the rats or?
Well, no, they just carry diseases.
Oh, okay, it's like normal ones.
And it just adds more of an air of death to him and his character.
Scary.
Wasn't like vampirism a metaphor for like STDs and stuff like that?
Well, vampirism. Okay, so the whole myth of vampirism. This is where Bram Stoker took it from. He actually traveled and did research in places like Romania, Transylvania, or Carpathia, all those places. What would end up happening is when you buried a body, certain things would happen in the body, like the nails, in some cases, would still continue to grow for a little bit. And the way the body looked and the blood congealed, it looked like somebody had returned to their coffin after drinking blood. So that's where a lot of the legend came from. Is that it was basically them not understanding, what happens to a cadaver when it's been put in there like that, and you don't have modern caretaking and things like that happening on. So they would open up the bodies. That's why they put the stake in the heart. They would open up, and the body was different than the one that they buried. And then they're like, okay, this guy's the living dead. That's a lot where a lot of it came from. And then it just snowballed from there. And then each person who would take on a narrative, like Bram Stoker, would add things to it that were either, based on other folklore or just complete bullshit in some cases.
Taladia, is this movie big in your country, in Britain or the UK, or do you
No.
You've never seen it?
No, I've never seen this.
No.
Damn, this is like the third time though. There's been something that you haven't seen, which is kind of cool. That means there's still somebody in this world that these things are new to, which is
You
kinda
wouldn't spoil
cool.
it for him anyway, dude. Thanks, Wayne.
That's too bad. I'm sorry. This right here. Here's another very famous shot.
It's the first Annie. Are you okay? Backwards though.
Oh my goodness. And this is another
Ask me
scene.
anything.
This scene right here, I actually have this. I have this put on a magnet here.
What's that?
Watch what you're about to see. That guy says, "Fuck it, I'm getting off the boat." But watch behind him. Now, to us, 100 years, this is this isn't scary. But just imagine these guys back then watching this movie. Right here.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of
That's
these scenes in this movie
very
are all
iconic shot.
them. Yep.
The what?
I'm not gonna lie, William. I just pissed myself a little bit. You're absolutely right.
Isn't that normal for you, Spidey?
I mean, that's beside the point.
And remember, in the modern movies, the only thing that's found is the wheel, the steering wheel, and the rope. Even in the Demeter, the last fight, the Demeter, the news movie, that was the same thing.
Did you like the Demeter movie?
I enjoyed it. The ending was kind of weird because it just looked like they were setting you up for something else. But as a movie itself, I thought it was pretty decent.
Rhea, it sounds like the sunlight rule is BS they made up for false tension in the movies.
Well, no. This is okay. So this movie's the way this movie was shot. It's filmed, and there's scenes that are nighttime that look like daytime because of the quality of the film and the way it was preserved and restored. Some scenes can be restored like this, where it's completely night, but there's other scenes like that boat. Because this version of Dracula cannot come out in daylight. So if you see Count Orlok out here, that's nighttime. Like right now, it looks like it's daytime. That's nighttime.
And when it was like a granule of like yellowy orange, that was
when they're actually shooting
like
outside.
Dark.
That
would have been around that time.
I'm sorry. When they're shooting outside, there's so much overall exposure that they can't cancel it out. When they're shooting in a house, it was different because you didn't have the radiant exposure. See, that's why it's weird. Like when he first picks him up and puts him in the carriage to take him to the castle, that's all at nighttime, but it looks like it's bright as day. So right now, this boat is arriving. It's arriving in London. Here to Germany, I guess.
Is there a Van Helsing in this? Or is that later?
What is he called here?
Von Schemer.
Professor Bulwer.
Vonna Snatch.
Is it? So now this is supposed to be creepy. This boat under its own power now is coming into shore. Everybody on the boat's dead.
Where's Brad when you need him about Snatch?
Oh, you know what? I was going to bring up Scary Movie with Brad, but no, I don't think he'll want that.
Yeah, let's talk about it anyways. It's a lot idea. Scary Movie 6 is coming out, and the Wayans brothers are making it again.
Now there's theories that it's not actually going to be called Scary Movie 6, that it's going to be a full-on reboot. So I don't know which rumor it's true though.
How do you reboot a fucking spoof movie though? Anyway, never mind.
Yeah, that's what I don't know.
Yeah,
don't reboot. Reboot
Nerd.
is bad word.
Vince. What I can say is Ghostface.
All right, right here. Okay, see what he's doing here. That for 1922 wasn't. That was. This is like ahead of the game. That stop motion that he did like that. So, and this is another scene right here.
Little jump cut action.
Yeah.
How many?
Wow.
This is right here. I'm sorry if I'm in 1922 and I'm like 15 or 16. This looks creepy.
And you look at his eyes. It looks like somebody put contacts in it.
Yeah,
But
yeah. It looks like
that wasn't even invented back then.
This is truly a.
So I wonder how the hell they did that back then to make his eyes.
They shot it at an angle that his eye, the light hit his eyes right the way. He maneuvers that shot.
Like late
Kind of like. Actually, you're right. You the way the light hits the replicants on the Blade Runner, but this is different. He shot it. He probably shot several forms of it and just chose the one that the light worked with. Now right here,
Rundersand.
here he is. His boat's landed. He's carrying his coffin. So right now, this looks like it's daytime, right? But it's night.
Now that would have been cardboard.
Yeah, it's probably some lightweight. And here's all the rats.
Those are CGI rats or what?
No,
They
those
have
are real rats.
there? Oh. Ray says the vampires get their power from dirt.
There's a distinct lack of CGI in 1922, Spidey.
They need dirt, according to certain legends. They need dirt from their home soil to maintain their powers. That's why they line their coffin with it.
And what, King Kong came out in 1929? So they got their CG together by then, or what?
King Kong came out in 1933.
That was
Man,
still
I'll tell you what.
practical.
Yeah, that's still practical.
I'm just fucking with you, Clint.
Oh, yeah. That's stop motion.
Those type of vampires who need the soil for their home country will have a shitty job to try and get here in Australia. That shit won't go through customs.
That's one thing in the book where he had like 30 crates of his native soil brought with him to his house.
Yeah. And then in the last flight of the meter, that's actually where you see all those coffins that they're putting on there, and the only one of them is the one he sleeps in. Now, even an empty coffin is pretty heavy.
You know what I would do? I will make like a necklace or something, or of a watch that would have my soil in it. Something that I can wear around and walk around. Well,
they only require it when they rest to regenerate. So it's a little bit different than like they're not powerless without it, but it helps them regenerate. Because
if you do it Aaron's way, it's like having a battery on you all the time, so you don't need to rest. If you got a little piece of dirt on your necklace,
so they need to be in contact with it. But a lot of
it'll be like it'll be a vampire's form of Fitbit.
Yeah, there you go. Or like a 5-hour energy or something.
So like I said, even a coffin of this era, an empty coffin, is significantly heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just rolling through it. That's to show you just how.
Well, pallbearer, you need like 6 pallbearers for a coffin normally. Is it the trope?
Yeah.
The common thing.
Now they're discovering what's going on here with
Anish.
The 5-hour energy drink for a vampire is blood.
I feel like the full meal of the dirt is the quick pick me up thing.
Wolverine. Oh, Logan.
The blood is like that, like Prime.
Oh, there you go.
So you're saying if you you just go right to the source and get Logan Paul's blood, knock out 2 birds with 1 stone, get all the prime you need.
Well, there'll probably be plenty of it on the mat when you get. Did they face Tyson this month?
Logan Paul's the older brother.
Okay, what's the
Jake
other
Paul's
guy?
the younger
Jake Paul's the one that get knocked out.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Jake Paul. Is the one that's fighting Tyson.
Put $100 for Jake Paul for the win.
Yeah, well, I'm still going with that. Because I talked to you about that before, and then Mike Tyson fell out like a week after I told you that he was too old to fight. So you just kind of dropped it.
However, there could be a time where Logan actually gets cut during a wrestling match.
Oh, there's guaranteed to be a time to get cut during a wrestling match. Bringing out these dead bodies. For its time, Nosferatu was pretty gruesome.
It came out in 23, so a couple years after the Spanish flu and the war.
Oh, yeah.
Abraham.
Yeah, this came out right after World War II or World War One. I'm sorry,
World War One.
Yeah.
I'm surprised there was money for this movie because post World War I Germany was what caused World War II, and a lot of people going. It wasn't good.
Vince, the fight it's still going on. It just got postponed because it was supposed to happen in July.
By the way, even non-old people have ulcers, so Jake Paul is going to get hurt. Like I said, it's only going to take a couple of seconds for old Mike to come in there. He doesn't need to be old Mike for the whole fight, just long enough.
Well, that's my argument exactly, that he's old Mike, just not the same way. We don't mean it in the same
I'm talking about old, like 1988.
Yeah,
Mike.
And I'm saying he's almost, he's 58 or he's 50. He just turned 57 or 58.
58. You've seen that, man.
Yeah, no, I get that, but age still matters. If both people are training, age still matters. I understand who Mike Tyson is, one of my favorite fighters of all time, but that's such a huge age gap.
Ask that guy who messed with him on the airplane flight how old he is.
Yeah, but that guy wasn't training to be a boxer. At least I'm not saying Jake Paul is a good boxer, but he's still training to do the work. Right? Like he's conditioning himself to fight against an old man.
And plus, I think Mike's kind of pissed off that there are guys like Spidey out there. I think he's going to come in with a chip on his shoulder. And guys like you, Spidey, are going to get Jake Paul hurt.
I'm not worried. I don't want Jake Paul to win. I'm just saying what I think is going to happen. Right?
Well, we'll be all watching it on Netflix.
We're going to do a watch along on the...
I don't know if I want to watch what's going to happen, but who knows?
You're in Vegas,
I
take a little
suggested
action on the
that.
channel.
I suggested that, but William doesn't want to do a watch party when somebody's probably going to be murdered. So
I thought this channel would be perfect for that.
So right now they're more concerned about the plague that the rats have brought to the country. They don't quite realize that boat bought something else. This is them letting everybody know, hey, there's a plague. $2020 all over again.
they're vampires. Vampires don't give a shit about biosecurity laws.
You there, in the window there. What day is it today? Christmas Day, sir.
Yeah, the Jets. Rough month for you New Yorkers, buddy.
Oh yeah, by the way, congratulations, William.
Yay!
Been winning.
Dodgers are world champions for 364 more days. Woo! Got my hat.
And it's funny that everybody was watching the LA Kings game, and they put on the
Yeah, they put it on
big
the
screen.
screen. Yeah.
So it was pretty much picture in picture.
I wish I could have been in LA, but I literally was watching. We were doing our Rocky Horror Picture Show. I was literally running that show while I was watching the World Series. So luckily, that show towards a certain point runs itself, and I could go, But as we were getting set up and they were down 5, I'm like, and there was the bar and everything still had Yankees and Dodgers fans in there, so it was like watching them was like gut wrenching. Wish I could be in LA.
Well, I think the Yankees blew that game more than the Dodgers won that game.
Oh yeah. Listen, the Yankees weren't winning that series at all, but they could have extended it to a 6th game. They just can't play baseball. They can hit, and they got some good pitching. They can't field the ball. They run the bases horribly. I don't want to get to watch the Yankees all the time because I'm on a different coast and everything else, but watching them during this series, they can't execute basic baseball. They couldn't field the ball. They couldn't do relays. They couldn't do anything in this series. I didn't realize how bad a fielding team they were. And then offensively, like I said, if their offense is not clicking, then all that stuff gets exposed. But yeah, they gave up 3 errors in 1 inning, and the Dodgers scored on every single one of them. And then the Dodgers just were a better team. The Dodgers executed. You know, they knew how to run the bases. They knew how to move people, sacrifice flies, all that stuff. They did everything that the Yankees did not do in that game yesterday. So yeah, and like I said, you listen to Yankees fans, and I watch a lot of these sports shows. Man, they weren't surprised because they watched their team all year round. So yeah, I do need to get.
Are they going to do
Chat, you bought the right.
like a ticket tape parade or something in LA or something?
Yep, tomorrow morning.
Oh shit!
Where at? Oh, who?
Dodgers tomorrow at Dodger Stadium. Yeah, we shouldn't get any copyright. Like I said, the only thing that might catch us copyright-wise is this score maybe belong to somebody, but I don't think it does because I've used it before. So I think we're good. I think we're. This is probably
they're probably using music that's older than the movie.
Yeah, or that itself was public domain because a lot of these guys do they'll add public domain music so everybody can watch it.
Using music that predates the idea of copyright. So,
well, no, copyrights was a big deal. This movie wasn't seen for years because of copyright, believe it or not. But as far as like ideas and intellectual properties, it was bigger than like right now. There was no YouTube to catch you, obviously. Like your Nosferatu is demonetized. Like,
where's Nerd at? He should be pointing out the. He should be pointing out all the.
Draculism's out. Yeah.
He's MS 1300 AD. So.
SA Nostra.
Yeah. Like women didn't really wear their hair like that back in my time.
That's what you got William here for, though.
Well, William back then was all where the white women at.
Okay, dude, seriously. What's wrong with you people?
Hey, William, that's actually
Vince, hold on. Where are we at? Yeah, Vince, mark this so that I can get that out of there.
Now, Nerd's answering the call.
Oh, okay.
You ain't no Ghostbuster.
I ain't scared of no ghosts. That's what Taladia said.
This is original footage because it's round.
All those coffins, man. And just like I said, he had to do very little to get his point across in these movies. Same thing with Metropolis. Metropolis is all just mannerisms and setting, and matte paintings is what that was. These guys were brilliant for what they had.
True pioneers.
Yep.
Man, I tell you what, it would have been so hard being an actor in the silent film days.
Oh, she's got some bug eyes.
I wonder what the budget
Oh,
to this movie was.
Ray called Nerd Nosferatu.
I don't know if the budget was ever really nailed down. I've heard rumors, but it wasn't, It wasn't a lot.
There's no ironclad
Yeah, there's no
information.
Vince said it
A
made
lot-
19K.
Yeah, well, because a lot of it was because of legalities and stuff that they were trying to skirt around. Let me find something out real quick because I know there were rumors. Let me see something. Yeah.
Made 3,000 stuff. Oh, what do they call money in this place?
Dutch mark. Oh, well, Deutschmarks.
There you go.
The movie was made in Germany, or it was made that takes place in Germany.
I think it takes place in the same settings as regular Dracula. Hold on.
Where was it produced?
Yeah, I've never been able to find out how much this movie cost.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if some of that information was withheld through the lawsuit.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, it's most likely a lot of that is like hearsay. So,
What are they doing out there with that scarecrow? Was that supposed to be Nosferatu? Or
I have no idea. Oh, we dropped someone.
yeah, we lost Force 1000.
Hooray! Next Wednesday, no more political commercials. Yay!
Really don't even want to think about that right now, to be honest with you. That's another famous
Got
Oh,
Fourth
yeah.
back.
yeah.
Did you guys miss me? Specifically, William.
What's up?
I was wondering if you guys missed me when I was gone.
Not really, no.
Your TV sucked up all the internet, so you got logged off.
It's the price you got to pay for
Well,
having this huge 70.
well, don't worry. May next year, it's Australia's turn. Yay!
I thought it was a 95-inch TV, Fourth.
It's a grower.
It's not a shower, it's a grower.
What do you water it?
Little family secret there. Just as long as my TV stays bigger than William's TV. Good.
He's trying to give William TV envy.
Little TV envy there, William. Huh?
TV size doesn't matter, guys.
It's not about the size, it's when you use it.
Exactly.
All right, okay. We need to shut this conversation down.
We're talking about TV size, dude, and why superficial sizes. You know, you shouldn't make people uncomfortable with your TV size. Fourth, you don't want to swing that big TV around.
Oh, the iconic shot.
There you go. Look at what he does with the fingers here.
Man, I'll tell you what, there's probably
Not only is he using the shadows,
posters of that money shot.
yeah. Not only is he using the shadows here, he's using the angles so that the shadows curl around corners and do things. It's just really neat.
Nerd, the tube TV shows up a lot better for the old stuff.
I miss my tube TV.
Anthony's lost.
Gotta love modern technology that we can all come together to watch a 100-year-old movie.
Right. Damn it, they caught a knot.
Knox life for So how does this one kill? He uses shadow and he killed her, or does he just bite?
He just bites.
He's got
Okay.
3
Well, he was gonna turn her into a vampire.
Front of
He
his
wasn't gonna
mouth.
kill her.
With his 3 feet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Even though that this is clearly a lot of this stuff is like inspired by Bram Stoker's Dracula. I reckon I just feel bad for the families of the people who made this film because they can't really openly, probably can't really openly talk about it.
Oh, really?
And us at the same time, they can never really profit on this film. So a lot of these families have lost probably millions upon millions of dollars.
Well, what they ended up doing, some of the people who were involved, they just ended up, after it drifted into public domain, they started just changing little things about it to make it their own. Like if you were a publicist with your own sound score, then that you can copyright that. That's yours. You can make that many. You can change things about it to make it, This is before we had exploding vampires.
Warner Brothers have
Kinda
to pay
like-
any rights for this movie?
What's up?
Did Warner Brothers have to pay any rights to make this movie if it's open domain?
Public domain.
Or whoever's making Nosferatu?
Whoever's
A24?
making it, can do what they want to it because it's public domain.
Kind of like how the Pooh Blood and Honey situation is. So Winnie
Well,
the
for
Pooh is
different
in public-
reasons. Yeah, same
Winnie the
result.
Pooh is in
for
public
different
domain, but Pooh Blood and Honey is a copyright deal. Now,
reasons. Yeah, that was actually a copyright infringement that caused this one.
Because I know back in those days, right, they didn't have like Comic-Con and stuff like that, but they still had fan meet and greets.
Or hotter after she
So they-
turned into a
So they would have like missed out on stuff like that, meeting fans and that, and garnering fans. Because it was locked up in storage for years and years and years.
whoa, we got a little watermark.
Yeah, classic
Oh,
movies.
the movie's over. Yeah. Okay.
Hi,
There we
guys.
go.
Was it?
The-
Oh, it's
Yeah, it's
fast.
a very short movie. That's actually that's
Yeah.
a long movie for its era.
Mm-hmm. It
For
was
its
the Justice. What about the 10 Commandments? Is like 3.5 hours though, dude. That came out like what, 20 years later?
Yeah, that came out in the '60s with what?
Oh, I thought it was in the 40s.
Charlton Heston. No, it came
No.
out. Oh, well,
I gotta
damn, Anthony, you shoot right as the shit ends, huh?
He's the reverse
Yeah.
Flash. He's getting here right when
Yeah.
it begins.
Yeah,
Duh.
he's reverse flash.
Well, that's part one.
Whoa! You okay, Aaron? Looks like you got scratched up there. Are you gonna make it?
Oh no! Oh, that was from yesterday.
Oh.
It's a temp.
I should see the other guy. Is what you're saying?
Oh, okay, she's got makeup on it.
And then you got
Oh, she did some Halloween. Did you go trick or treating?
oh no!
She got into a
I had
sword
small-
fight, dude,
I
with a guy with claws.
I had a small get together last night where we watched a whole stack of Halloween movies and we had Chinese food. That's why I didn't pop up last night on the chat because I was having a bit of a Halloween get together.
Oh, I
Because
thought
it's
Brad
the
wouldn't.
first year now.
Yeah, did Brad go?
Did Brad go? Yeah, that's a good question.
I thought Brad visited. She got into a kung fu fight with Brad. That's why he's not here right now.
I agree. This movie,
During the fight.
that movie, the new Nosferatu said, "All right, I'm going to shut it down only so that I can transition over to the other one because there are two different streams, because they're two drastically different types of movies." So meet me here in about 23 minutes. For those of you who are going to watch Nightmare on Elm Street, the original Nightmare on Elm Street, it's on
I'm
HBO
about to
Max.
roast
That's
the
for all of
shit
you.
out of Freddy's. Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to
I'm
be
probably
watching it.
gonna-
I'm going to be watching it on HBO Max. So anybody who wants to
It's
come
on
along,
Max. Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I will. See
I thought
you
it should
guys.
be in public domain just because it's Freddy.
No, they're still making money off of that. So okay,
Just
guys,
have
I
movies
was.
back.
No, because if you're not, the Nosferatu caters to a completely different audience than Freddy. So, and I don't want people have people.
Now, last
sticking-
week you had some balls about it, dude. And you slapped
Well,
those
that
two
was
together,
that
and it
was
was
different
great.
though. Those
It was
that
great.
yeah,
That was different. That
yeah,
was different.
That was
Spidey.
Evil Dead 1 and
That
those
was
are
different.
both. Yeah, if you came into Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2 is a reasonable projection. These are two strictly different movies. So,
That
all right,
was
guys,
badass. Whoever came up with that decision to make it a double feature out of nowhere last week, that was a badass decision.
yeah,
I want to shake those guys' hands.
Yeah, those guys are shit.
20.
All right.